when lives are on the line.
Are there any obvious injuries?
These men and women will risk theirs.
The lad who was driving got blood coming out of his face.
To save yours.
RTC truck.
They deal with the most serious injuries.
The patient is described as bleeding heavily.
Directly below his ear. There's a lot of blood there.
The most critical illnesses.
The reports of a male who's in cardiac arrest, and without any action, the patient will die.
The two Yorkshire Air Ambulances cover Britain's biggest county.
He's fallen 30 foot from the roof.
Oh yeah. He's got a big cut to his head.
5 million people rely on them.
All right, sorry, sweetheart.
To deliver cutting-edge emergency medicine.
We're just going to go to sleep. He's not looking particularly good.
At high speed.
If you can activate your major hemorrhage protocol.
Every day brings high drama.
Stepped out in front of a bus.
Steady, move. Got some pretty nasty injuries there. Some big wounds and some broken bones.
High stakes.
Tubes through, carry on CPR.
Car started filling up with smoke, and then that were it. Come round, it looked like you were having a bit of an heart attack or something.
And high pressure.
Now, does it hurt when you breathe? No,
That's it, your back, sag it, lad.
So, guys, all happy with the plan? Ketamine, straight in the leg, and off.
It's lunchtime at the Nostell Air Base.
Job, guys.
But food is on hold.
Where are we going?
Halifax. Lady's been hit by a bus and it's run over her legs and said that it's at a nasty angle and doesn't look very good.
Paramedics Rachel and Matt are heading out with Dr. Chris.
Please take us, mate.
Engines ready to fly.
Fly flying guarded.
Confirmed doors and harnesses.
Those secure, secure in the back.
Pilot Lee's flying his team 20 miles into the Pennines.
Hit by a bus. Oh, have they?
Yeah, stepped out in front of a bus.
That is a bad day. Run over by a bus, that's even worse.
More details are coming in. It's sounding increasingly more serious.
Leg facing wrong way.
The accidents happened in the centre of Halifax, a town of 88,000 people.
It's gonna be busy.
Bad leg.
Yeah, I get that. I just need 2D.
2D is an area just twice the length of the helicopter. It's the minimum size Lee needs to land legally. But there's another problem.
Oh, it's the Peace Hall, that.
Anyone landed in the Peace Hall before?
Lee has to land within the walls of a Grade 1 listed building. The Peace Hall is an 18th century architectural masterpiece that's one of Yorkshire's finest buildings.
Dean's just coming up to you at 1 o'clock, guys. Just underneath us now.
Peace Hall's very close. I take it that's next to that church.
We're just, town team, we're just making finals for Peace Hall, I think.
Yeah, a bit of Peace Hall.
Yep.
Scatter those people.
Yep.
Lee's relying on the noise of his engines to clear visitors from the courtyard.
I can't believe you landed an helicopter at Peace Hall.
Roger, thanks.
Unless you can take it somewhere else.
No, I can't. Not anywhere close by.
This is a challenging landing.
So to your 2 o'clock, there's some marquees.
The whole crew are keeping a lookout to assist Lee.
Are you blowing the signs on the berm? Yeah, no, they've stopped.
Inch by inch, Lee's lowering Helimed 99 gently to the stone surface of the courtyard.
Guys, you happy?
Yep.
Right, down.
Let's go.
The accidents happened on a street outside the hall near the town market.
Got some entrance, wasn't it? Some entrance.
The pensioner at the centre of the emergency is still under the bus.
Hi guys, you alright?
78-year-old Lorraine Greenwood was out shopping with her husband.
Bottom of the bus, she's got the different fracture to her left leg.
Both legs were crushed by the wheel.
Yep. Gloved as well.
Yep.
As far as I've got, I'm just getting a line in really.
Hello. Alright. Alright, darling. These chaps are going to sort you out, alright? Yes, thank you. Yeah, and we'll just give them a hand.
The incident was seen by dozens of shoppers.
We saw the bus come round the corner, we heard a thud, heard the lady scream, and then came to give some immediate assistance.
Darling, what do I call you? Lorraine, my name's Matthew. All right, I'm just going to be down at your legs. Okay, I'm just going to cut your trousers and things just so I can have a good look, okay? All right, my love.
She's in a lot of pain. Dr. Chris wants to give her ketamine, a powerful painkiller.
I'll just give her 2.5. Are you happy with that, or do you want to give her?
I'll give her a lot more than that.
Well, lots of people started to come out of the shops. At that time, her legs were... The bus driver had stopped immediately, but the front wheel was still on her leg, and she was absolutely screaming in pain, so he moved the bus forward off her leg, but then she remained still.
My name's Chris again, I'm the doctors with the Air Ambulance. What's your name then?
Lorraine.
So Lorraine, my mate Matt's having a look at your poorly legs.
Yeah.
Do they hurt today?
The sting.
They sting, okay. Well, what, you know, you've got some pretty nasty injuries there, some big wounds and some broken bones. But we can't leave you on the ground all day long.
No, it's getting cold.
So what we're going to do is gradually move you and get you on this board.
Lorraine will need major surgery and she could lose both legs. Protecting her wounds from infection and preventing further damage is their main priority.
Can I just borrow you for a lift? Is that all right? Okay. Everyone ready? Yeah.
Hold on. Just going on that knee as well.
Okay. Ready, steady, move. Well done, love.
Well done.
Okay. And then we're going to go on to back and up. Okay.
At last, she's clear of the bus.
Lorraine, darling, just keep your legs still, Spadge. I've got them, okay? I've got them.
Right. Okay. Ready, steady, move. And onto her back. Just stop there, and then we're going to slide up about a foot. Ready, steady, move. Get that right in against the ball with that board. And now she's going to go onto her back, okay? Ready, steady, onto her back.
Well done.
Board right down flat. Well done, love. Okay.
That's it.
Well, you're quite happy with your head, aren't you?
Now they can see her legs properly. It's becoming obvious the flesh and muscle between her ankle and knee has taken the full weight of the bus.
How much does that leg hurt today?
Happy? Okay.
The hospital 1 to 10.
Okay. An 8 at the minute. Okay. Are you guys happy to attach chest straps for me?
Yep.
Lorraine is remarkably calm. It's clear her injury is life-changing.
It's completely shredded, isn't it? It is, mate. She's degloved it a bit.
Right, a minute. Lorraine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some really strong painkiller, okay? It might make you go a little bit woozy, all right?
The team's medical advisor, Dr. Jez Pinnell, has arrived by road to help out.
So we're making a right fuss of you here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Happy, Jez? How much do you want her, Rachel? She lost a fair bit of blood, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has, but it's not bleeding now.
Rachel? Happy neurovascularly?
She's got a pulse, yeah.
Dr. Chris wants Lorraine to be comfortable enough for a journey to the helicopter.
Is that pain any easier in your leg? Is that pain any easier in your leg?
You put some little
straps
across your arms now.
Yeah. Feel a bit woozy now with that medicine. Analgesic-wise, I'm quite happy with it.
They're going to make a move.
So once that splint's on, we're going to lift onto that trolley. Do you want to just clear a bit of a path to get over, and then we'll go down to the aircraft. All right, so 2 on each side if we can. Right, Lane, we're just going to move you onto this trolley, okay? Ready, steady, lift. Nice, steady walk over. Grand, and down there.
Right. Now, we're going to bring you into the P-cell.
Older patients often shrug off pain, but Lorraine's calmness isn't fooling Chris.
She's pretty comfy. I'm not going to push her too much more drugs.
Stoical, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, she's got a pain score of 9 out of 10, though. She's had a 15 at ketamine.
She's being pushed through the town centre where she came to do some shopping. She needs hospital care, urgently.
Right, Lorraine, we're going to get you in a helicopter in a minute, okay?
In the heart of one of West Yorkshire's most historic tourist attractions, the team are preparing for a dramatic takeoff with elderly accident victim Lorraine on board.
All right.
I'll follow her.
Can I please ask that everyone kindly remove themselves away from the helicopter?
Helimed 99 will soon be starting up.
You all right, Lorraine? Just go right round the back of the tail. Just stay away from the aircraft just for now, and then we're going to go head in on the other side.
Can I switch on?
Yes, of course you can, love.
Have I got my bag?
Yeah, we've got your bag here. The police officer's got it, and we'll take it with us. All right, love. So in a minute, it's going to get a bit loud.
Lorraine's going to be hooked up to the helicopter's monitoring system.
All right, Lorraine, we're going to put you on this bed now, all right? And then we're going to feed you into the helicopter, and then we'll meet you inside. All right?
Okay, you cool, mate?
Right. Ready, steady lift.
Feet down.
Chris is concerned the accident may lead to the loss of her leg.
Looking at the main part of the kind of torso, head and thorax, it looks okay. But she's got this really pretty horrendous lower leg injury, kind of a lot of fractures, quite a few fractures there, a lot of skin loss. So she's had some antibiotics. Her pain's pretty well controlled. She's quite stoical. She's not really moaning too much. Says it just stings. We're going to get her to LGI. We'll be there in about 15 minutes. Grand. Right, Lauren, let's connect you up to a bit of oxygen, okay? How are we getting on? Are you sore? You're okay. If you are sore, you can tell me. There's no prizes for having, for not having painkillers. You don't get an award for it or anything, Right, it's gonna get a bit noisy, okay? If you need anything, just give us a little wave.
Pilot Lee is reversing out of his historic helipad. Landing in the Peace Hall is a first for the team.
I've never seen so many phones in my life.
He's heading east to the major trauma centre.
I'm going to continue up, mate, so I've got to fly away. So I'm going to fly away on that.
Yeah.
Got the mast, got the chimney, 12
Got the chimney
o'clock.
at 12.
It's a 10-minute flight into the heart of Leeds.
Okay, 160 miles an hour. Not bad.
Orthopaedic surgeons have been summoned to meet Lorraine on arrival. She may undergo surgery today.
Okay, mate, so pylons in the 12 o'clock left to right. We're just being squeezed down slightly by the cloud base, but I'm happy there are plenty of options. I'm going to go continue at this height.
Rachel's not yet flown into Leeds General Infirmary. Approaching through the high-rise buildings and cranes is a critical procedure.
So, mate, what I intend to do is we'll fly past, turn around the sort of the brown high-rise, and then make our approach in on this track, basically. Cranes on the overshoot, and which will be on our left. But again, they shouldn't be a factor. Okay, so I'm just going to make my turn, guys, so I'm just going to tighten it up slightly, nothing too red arrows.
Lee's on final approach over the busy city centre.
Okay, slight drift to the right. Okay. Continuing forward.
And they're down.
We're just going to pull you out, Lorraine. Okay.
Their patient's heading down to resus.
So she's got this pretty contaminated wound with lots of exposure of the bone and soft tissues. So what will happen is she'll go into the emergency department. The trauma team will make sure there's no other serious injury with her, and then she'll probably need some x-rays and some imaging of that leg to try and determine the extent of that injury.
Chris wants to reassure his patient.
When we get in there, there'll be loads of people, okay, all making a fuss over you. Bit like wedding days all over again. But that's just to get you sorted out, okay?
Keep talking to me. This is 78-year-old Lorraine at 5 to 1 this afternoon. She was walking across a road and at low speed a single-decker bus has hit her and she's gone under the front wheels. Her lower legs have been run over and then the bus has reversed back over those lower legs.
Lorraine is on her way to emergency surgery. The medical team are beginning the fight to save her leg. At the Nostell Air Base, a senior controller in the 999 Operations Centre is on the line.
Gav speaking. Got a job. Carby motorbike. Loads of multiple cores, so God doesn't know what. Where is it? Looks like it's Maltby. No, for that, we've got a job.
Okay.
Pilot Gary's hitting the helipad running.
Radio's lights.
All as required. We've got Doncaster on there.
Brief.
Brief. It's very windy, so it could be bumpy on the way down.
Okay, doke.
Flying Dr. Tim's on shift with paramedics Pete and James.
What do we know? Car versus motorbike, multiple calls. Crossroads in middle of Maltby.
The crash has happened in a busy town centre in South Yorkshire. It sounds like the biker's in a bad way.
When a car hits a motorbike, there's only one person going to come out worse than that. It's the motorcyclist.
Unfortunately, the human body is just not designed to be decelerated from 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. So we'll have to do a very careful assessment of his airways, breathing, his circulation, and then hopefully get him to the nearest trauma centre, which will be Sheffield.
They're racing south at 150 miles an hour.
Gav, is there anyone on scene or likely to be on scene on our arrival, ETA 3 minutes, over?
Yeah, affirmative, yeah, Rat has just keyed on scene about a minute ago. We're just waiting for an update from Rat, over.
A Rat is a senior paramedic specialising in cardiac care. He was near the scene.
Okay, crash is straight below you guys, on the right hand side of the aircraft. Visual! Okay guys, come out of the aircraft, got 1 o'clock, and there's a exit out of the area.
Gary's descending into a busy shopping area.
Way below my side, mate.
There are few safe places to land adjacent to the crash, except for a football pitch.
Yeah, this isn't ideal, is it?
The biker is in the care of the ground paramedics. He's losing blood.
His chest seems clear, his abdomen seems clear, his pelvis seems tight. His knees are open fracture, and where his patella is completely exposed and just open.
Nick Rayfield was on his way home. Now he has a very serious leg injury. His wife has rushed to comfort him.
So this gentleman's ridden his scooter, collided with a car. Luckily, he doesn't seem to be too fast, but he's definitely got a very nasty injury to his leg and chipped off the bottom of his thigh bone. It's the biggest bone in the body, so it's very serious if you damage it, and if you damage it enough, you can actually bleed to death.
Nick's in great pain.
Now listen, we're going to give you some medicine to make you feel a little bit relaxed. Then we're going to give you a strong painkiller that's going to make you feel a bit wappy. All right, so if you start feeling a bit weird, we've done it to reduce your pain. Now, does it hurt when you breathe?
No, just your knee.
Just your knee? It's all just your knee, is it?
The left wrist does a little bit.
What about your teeth?
There's quite a few missing anyway.
This is a life-changing injury. He may need emergency surgery.
So guys, all happy with the plan? Bit of Madaz, ketamine, straight in the leg, cover the wound, and off.
Dr. Tim's concerned Nick may have more serious injuries caused by the impact with the car. It appears it wasn't his fault.
Sit your backside it, lad.
Open your eyes for me. How are you feeling now?
Oh, God.
You feeling any different?
Can you feel drugs kicking in there?
Oh, yeah.
Now Nick is more comfortable. Dr. Tim wants to straighten his leg.
This is going to hurt a bit, I'm afraid.
They're going to align the broken bones to prevent further blood loss.
But we did find that there was a lot of bleeding coming from the leg, so we actually had to put a tourniquet on in this case to stop the bleeding, so we could get him to hospital as quick as possible. Let's get him on the scoop, ready for the DCA. I mean, all we can do is keep him warm.
Nick's leg's been put into a vacuum splint. He's very cold. They'll use a ground ambulance to warm him up as soon as it arrives.
Cold is a killer in trauma, so if you're cold, your blood doesn't clot properly, so you just keep bleeding and bleeding. So one of the most important things we can do to help patients is to try and keep them as warm as possible. But obviously on a day like this, it's very hard. That's why one of the first things we did was we just got a mountain of blankets and covered him in that. And then we've got a special heating blanket that's battery powered that we use as well. So by keeping the patient's temperature up, we help them to help themselves and form a blood clot so they don't keep bleeding. So we'll need a bit more ketamine for the tourniquet in a bit. So I think all we can do, Pete, is just get him on the scoop. I think I can hear the DCA.
The accident's happened a short drive from the major trauma centre at the Northern General Hospital. He'll travel there by road.
His airway's all right, his breathing's all right, his pelvis feels all right. We've sorted his leg out, the bleeding that we saw has been controlled.
Surgeons will have to rebuild Nick's knee. He's lost a lot of tissue.
No, it's not that threatening, he's going to need an operation there.
His wife can stand back now. It's been a traumatic experience for her too.
So we've sorted out the bleeding, we've put the bone in the right place, we've given him some very strong painkillers because very, very painful having your femur broken. The priority to him is to keep him warm, get him to hospital as soon as possible so he can have an operation to put his bone back together again. Right, are we ready to lift? Ready, steady, lift.
Nick's on his way to hospital care.
Okay, and down. Nice.
Police are investigating the cause of the crash.
So we're happy to hand over as soon as we get the aeroplane back?
Yeah, as long as our friends have kept me en route, I'm happy.
Nick faces a long and painful recovery. The team are going to head back to base, leaving him in the hands of a local crew. Every day, hundreds of ordinary people step in to save a life.
All right, are you right by him now?
Using medical skills picked up at first aid courses.
All right, so tell me exactly what's happened.
It's not good. Just crashed his car in front of me. It looks like he's having an heart attack, but...
So is he awake?
No, he's unconscious.
Right, is he breathing?
Yeah, he is, but he's breathing very, very shallow.
Right.
I'm going to the A1.
10 miles from base, a van driver and an off-duty doctor are fighting to save a man in cardiac arrest.
Everyone ready?
Yep.
Yep. Lift it.
Dr. Sarah and paramedics Andy and Paul will be there in less than 5 minutes.
So it's on the main A1, is it?
It is, yeah. Near Barnsdale Bar sort of areas, which is sort of like Pontypridd.
Yeah.
The man's car careered off the road.
Yes, 9-8. We are overhead the grid.
Pilot Scott needs to get his medical team as close as possible to the man's car.
If it's too sloping, I'll hop across to the other field behind us. That's us committed there.
He's aiming for a field adjacent to the A1 motorway.
Good check for no domestics strung across anywhere.
No, no wires I can see.
Okay.
If you want auto trim, give me a shout.
Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. You happy there?
Yeah, good.
A group of motorists pulled the man from his car after it hit the sign.
How are we doing? We'll get him onto the road.
In cases like this, speed is vital.
You want that? Grab it defib, fella.
Defib, me?
Yeah, go for it. Run 2, 3, slide.
The off-duty doctor has just been joined by 4 ground paramedics.
OK, bag and mask.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, so what rhythm are we in? Looks like VF to me. Has he been shocked?
Yeah, twice.
But it was van driver Dean who started the fight for the man's life.
Come to a junction just there, sort car hit the curb over there, come straight across where he crashed into it here. Car started filling up with smoke, and then that were it. Come round, it looked like he was having a bit of an heart attack or something. Phoned straight away for ambulance. He was breathing at the time, and then his breath started getting a bit shallower in the shower till he eventually stopped, where she'd tell me on phone, get him out of the car and start doing CPR.
Right, let's stop there and do another rhythm check, please. OK, any pulse? No, it's like VF. OK, back on the chest for me.
I've just done a first aid course. Yeah, it's a bit different from a classroom to this. Yeah, because obviously it's either somebody's dad or somebody's husband. So yeah, that plays an effect, yeah.
Layla, an off-duty A&E doctor, also stopped. She was on her way home.
I was just driving along and stopped when I saw that they were doing chest compressions.
I've just got rid of all the shit out of there. I'm going to re-eye gel him just for a minute.
Okay.
Paramedic Andy's putting a tube down the patient's windpipe to help them get air into his lungs.
Right, I've got a grade 2.
Sarah is checking for signs of a response from their patient's heart.
OK, so you're at 2 minutes.
Okay, so carry on CPR. Right, we've got CO2. Can we just get it so we got the screen up a second?
Carbon dioxide is coming from the man's lungs. It's a good sign. It means he is still absorbing oxygen, keeping his brain alive.
I'll just get a holder on.
Right, just stop CPR a sec.
They're preparing to shock him again.
Equal air entry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we've got
a good CO2.
They're now giving him chemical hormones in an attempt to kick-start his heart.
Next rhythm check, we're banging in noradrenaline and the amiodarone. So
Yeah.
he's had 6 shots.
And we'll be
now,
going
so.
to Doncaster. There's not a mark on him, is there?
If it wasn't for Dean and other drivers, they'd have no chance of reviving him.
Sounds like he's had CPR straight away, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, one of these guys found him.
So what's he had? VF, numerous VFs, gone into a sister there.
PA.
He's been shocked again.
Yeah. Back on the chest.
But there's no response.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's it, stop. That's it. CPR again.
Dr. Sarah wants to see if there are any clues to his condition in his pockets.
He's going in his wallet, see if he's got a prescription.
Yeah.
Shock advised, everyone stand clear, checking top, middle, bottom, shocking.
From his wallet, Dr. Sarah knows the name of her patient, Brian French. He's 64 and lives nearby.
It sounds like a medical arrest into, it's just a little swerve into there.
So that's 1 minute,
Had the
guys,
chest
okay.
pain and then died. Immediate CPR by van man though, so he's had a really good try. He's got a CO2's come up, I think we just need to go.
Although Brian was clinically dead for several minutes, a dash for the nearest A&E could still save him.
You get the stretcher ready, and then basically we'll just lift him up, and then we'll put him on. The second we get down, so you start CPR for me. Is that all right?
Giving CPR is physically draining. The whole medical team have been taking turns.
Is there any chance you might be able to give Donnie a ring? Just tell him we've got a patient in VF.
Yeah. How long's he been in VF? How long's he been?
Half an hour. He's had 14 shocks.
14 shocks.
Yeah.
What we'll do is if you all get into position first, and then we'll pick him up, and it'll be minimal time off the chest.
40. Okay, everyone ready? We're going to go on lift, ready, steady, lift, stop CPR, trolley. And down. Back on chest. Well done.
To do that for a minute? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right, actually, yeah.
But at last, there are signs that Brian is responding.
I think he's not dead anymore.
Have we got any ID? No.
I got some breathing. Yeah, he's been breathing for a bit. So we've got a good CO2 and he's breathing.
Parker, give you them, mate. Cheers, fella.
But the odds are still against him.
Oh, he's really poorly, this guy. I mean, his chances are pretty slim. He's been in a shockable rhythm for over half an hour now. That's why we're transporting him, because there could be something that we've not done and he needs to be done in hospital. So.
Will you take his breathing when we get over?
I will.
Okay, that's it. Sorry, stop. Okay, right, go ahead.
In less than 15 minutes, Brian will be in the hands of cardiac specialists.
Call's been put in by CS.
To Doncaster?
Yeah.
It's there.
He's going to let him know when we've set off.
Thank you ever so much. Well done.
Like that. Can you put that? In fact, with our kit up there, with that, you can see it just behind CS.
Relates us to be. That's still PE actually.
Very slow.
Very slow PEA.
So this gentleman's in cardiac arrest, so CPR's been started straight away by bystanders, and one of the bystanders happens to be a doctor who's just done an advanced trauma life support course. We've arrived on scene. These guys have provided 2 shocks, and then we've continued to shock him and tried to get him ready to transport to hospital. We've intubated him. We've put a tube down into his mouth and down into his throat, because his airway was quite soiled. He's had lots of adrenaline, and we're transporting him to Doncaster Royal Infirmary.
It's hoped Brian can still be resuscitated. CPR has kept oxygen flown to his brain, limiting any damage. Helimed 99 is heading back to base, but the team's patient is now arriving in A&E.
It's really not looking too good for Brian. It's been a very, very long period of cardiac arrest. Even though we had some rhythms that we could do shocks for, his heart has never beat by itself. But the hospital have taken over now, so they're going to do some extra tests in the hospital to see if they can get his heart started, or if there's any other treatments that can be instigated to get his heart started. But I have to admit, at the moment, it's not looking very good for Brian. Don't think it's going to be a very positive outcome.
Dr. Sarah can only wait for news from Resus. Brian still has a slim chance, and the team fight for every life no matter the odds. In the Yorkshire Dales, paramedics can cover 200 miles in the course of a day's work, ranging across remote moors and fells. And when a serious case comes up, backup often comes from the sky. At RAF Topcliffe, the air desk is on the line.
I've got a chap who's been basically since 12:30. He's been dizzy, disorientated. He's got dysphasia. He can't put sentences together. He's no facial weakness. He's no arm weakness, and he's getting more and more agitated. They believe he might be having a bit of a bleed.
This case sounds serious. 25 miles away, Dales paramedic Pete suspects his patient is having a stroke.
All right, fella, I'll let him know you're coming.
Cheers, buddy. Speak to you in a bit. Bye.
Sam and Lee are heading out to Wensleydale.
Labour, yeah. Yeah, it's all part of the world.
Asquith.
Yeah.
Helimed 98 will be there in 15 minutes.
NS 98, we've lifted Topcliffe en route to Asquith.
Been asked to assist one of our specialist paramedics up in the Yorkshire Dales, the 84-year-old gentleman who's presenting with some sort of confusion and slightly agitated. The specialist paramedic believes it could be a cerebral event this gentleman is having. So it could be a blood clot, or it could be a bleed, or it could be an infection.
That's the grid in there, in the middle of that sort of like setup. Just watch this.
Visuals. Yes, it's 3 o'clock now in that very sort of courtyard.
They're circling a holiday complex in the middle of the village.
So where do you want to land?
It's a tricky landing.
Because that's a walled garden, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got the RRV, see it?
Yeah, that's right.
2 o'clock low. Top of the mound then, follow the path round.
ETA still showing at 2 minutes. There's no wires coming forwards off these posts.
No.
You are good to the left.
Roger. And we're good right and low.
They're slowly descending into a level patch of grass on the sloping fell side,
Good left, mate.
surrounded by walls.
Yeah, you're good
Tow
right.
can come this way if it needs to. Auto trims out.
Acknowledged. We're down and locked at minute 02. Engines coming back.
NS 98, we've landed C.
You clear out, mate, but go to the 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Lee's heading off for a handover from ground paramedics.
Okay, so obs-wise, he's tapped near because he's hyperventilating himself. But he's just continually, it's become more and more progressive.
Charles Etherington is on a country break with his wife.
So dysphagia originally,
right,
but now he's become agitated.
Has it? Right,
and I've spoken to James Cook, and they said go direct to Ward 28.
Local paramedic Pete fears Charles is seriously ill, but his symptoms are confusing.
He seems to have quite a variety of symptoms. No one symptom that seems to be kind of the most concerning. So we're just going to try and repeat some observations and just try and get to the bottom of what's happening today.
Well, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
I've got a...
You got a headache, have you?
Place in my cart, and there's not a lot I can do.
Charles doesn't have the weakness a stroke causes. Lee suspects this could be a life-threatening infection, like sepsis.
It's going to feel a sharp scratch on the back of your hand, Charles.
Sorry?
A little sharp scratch, OK?
I'm just
That
in
went
a
better
mess.
than I thought it was going to go.
I've got a...
Charles's wife is very worried. He was well this morning and went out for a walk.
Oh, I feel awful.
Charles, it seems like there's a few things happening. What's sort of bothering you the most? Is it this headache that you've got, or is it the pain in your throat, or is it something else? What's the worst thing that's happening at the moment?
I'm shaking,
It's a medical mystery.
I really don't know what to say. I feel awful.
Okay.
Corus, I just don't know what to do.
And Charles's answers aren't helping much. They're going to fly him to hospital specialists.
We'll fly him to the nearest hospital in about 15 minutes. The specialist paramedical team has already rang ahead to the hospital, so they are expecting us. To facilitate that, we're going to have to just give him a little bit of sedation. Hopefully that just will sort of calm him down a little bit for us enough just to take him to hospital safely. Charles?
I'm worried.
Charles, what we're going to do is going to give you a little bit of medicine. You should hopefully just relax you a little bit, OK?
Can I have something? Because I feel really awful.
For Lee and the team, this is a difficult, sensitive case.
Beyond everything.
Charles, you've got to go to that chair and then they can help you.
Which chair?
This chair here next to you.
Their patient is going to the James Cook Hospital in Middlesbrough, 40 miles away.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Charles needs urgent treatment. He's no longer speaking coherently.
I cannot. I have too much fast. Too much. Too much.
Pilot Mark will have their patient in hospital in 20 minutes.
We're 101, fuel reserve towards me, that's all good. Let's go.
NS 98, we've lifted C, reaching James Cook. Gotcha.
Charles has proved quite a challenging patient. As we've been on scene, is progressively got a lot more agitated. It could surely be to the presence of the number of people on scene, and lots of people intervening with him. But we're trying to do the best for the patient. We're giving some sedative to try and make him more amenable to transportation. Unfortunately, it's not the desired effect, and he's still quite agitated.
Night is falling, and the team are anxious to get back to base. But first, they must hand over Charles to the A&E team.
That's 98 on approach, James Cook. Clearing all the obstacles my side. The gates are down and the traffic stopped apart from the ambulances. Roger. And we'll LDP there. We are down. Desk 98, we've landed, James Cook.
Doctors are about to begin tests to identify his medical condition. Untreated, it's potentially life-threatening. On a country road near Leeds, there's an emergency.
Okay, bye.
A biker and his pillion passenger are lying injured. Pilot Andy will have his medics there in less than 5 minutes.
Visibility's a bit iffy today, isn't it?
Elevate 9 Alpha Leeds, hello, basic service, QNH 1025.
The grid I've got is coming from this little metal road just to the right of the big white box.
That's the same I've got here.
The crash has happened after a tight bend at the end of a long straight.
I've got emergency vehicles on the nose. You've got that pylon.
Pylon beyond, yes, well spotted. I'm just stowing that. Right, we're almost there. Landing checks, please, Pete. I'll land on the obvious side, on the other side of the road as we are now.
Yeah.
Could be a bit dusty. I'm going to come all the way around the winds. Very light coming from the north. Be careful not to get too much dust in that vicinity.
Andy's heading for a roadside cornfield.
What's your drive time to Leeds, and when you looked?
24 on route planner, so probably 20 minutes tops. Okay, Pete. Yep. Talk to him.
Yep.
Dr. Andy must decide which of the bikers is the most seriously hurt.
Just got 2 patients. Lady looks fairly minor.
Yeah.
I looked at her, and then obviously this gentleman. He's just a bit braddy.
The team are most worried about Lee. It looks like he may have a broken neck.
Well, he's been riding his motorbike with his wife, his pillion passenger. Looks like they've come round the corner, lost control and ended up on the ground down here. Thankfully his wife's basically uninjured, nothing wrong with her.
Went quite slow actually, it wasn't that hard. I think he just came right and caught unaware.
Did he come over the top? Sounds like he's fractured his collarbone, which is very painful, and he also has got a fracture to his middle of his tib and fib on his left-hand side. His foot, although it looks oriented, we think he might have ruptured quite a bit of muscle in his calf as well, so the shin doesn't look like it should do.
Slowly, the team are trying to rule out life-changing injuries.
All right, Lee, where's your worst pain?
Leg.
Your leg, which leg?
Left.
Left one?
Left side.
All right. Was he pillion or?
Front.
And then we've not looked at his leg yet, have we?
To get cut out and scope and everything, yeah.
His leg pain could be distracting Lee from a more serious internal injury.
We're going to have you get your boot and jeans off to have a look at that, is that all right?
Take the jeans off.
They're splinting his leg and pumping painkillers into his arm.
Just giving you a bit of morphine now, Lee, so you might start to feel a bit dizzy, a bit lightheaded, all right?
This will allow them to examine his leg.
Is that hurting in the middle of your shin?
There we go.
Oh.
Boots
an
off.
obvious mid-shaft there.
Yeah. It's swollen, shin's swollen. I mean, it's not pointing the wrong way or anything. No.
Though painful, it's not a critical injury. Lee's partner, Carla, is naturally worried.
You all right, darling? Yeah, it's all right, I'm here.
Air desk from 99. Yeah, just an update, mate. He's looking like he's got a fractured clavicle on the left side and also a closed left-sided tib fib. It's not triggering anything on the major trauma tool.
Lee will face a long recovery. Though the couple hit a lamppost, they appear to have had a lucky escape.
So we got me in the back of the ambulance, and I think he's going to go to the local trauma unit with the crew.
Thank you.
For the air ambulance team,
thanks, Aid.
It's time to return to base. Lee's now back at work, but he broke his shoulder and his leg, which needed complex knee surgery.
I had to have an operation where they end up going through my knee and putting a titanium rod through the bone to hold the leg together. Carla had some broken ribs. She also had damage to her leg, but it took her time to get over her injuries, especially the broken ribs.
It was a narrow escape, and the couple thanked their leathers and helmets for saving them, as well as their rescuers.
If I wasn't wearing the biking gear that I was wearing at the time, my injuries would have been a lot worse than what they are. You don't even think about having accidents, you don't think about injuring yourself, but these things do happen. And to know when it does happen that the actual people there, the qualified people and the equipment's there to do what's best for you it's just fantastic. It's brilliant. You just don't appreciate it until you need them.
Both Lee and Carla are riding again now, but it's taken a long time for them to feel comfortable on two wheels.
Tubes through, carry on CPR.
Carry on CPR.
Sadly, Brian, who collapsed at the wheel of his car, died in Doncaster Hospital soon after his admission. He left a partner and two sisters.
Hi guys, you alright?
She's got a different fracture to her left leg.
Okay.
Lorraine, who was run over by a bus while shopping in Halifax, spent 10 hours in an operating theatre at Leeds General Infirmary, undergoing reconstructive surgery.
The decision had to be made whether they amputated my leg. So that gave me an idea of how bad it was. And I was so grateful that they hadn't done, of course. And I thought, well, will I ever walk again? And I am very determined. I thought, well, I will walk again. Every little movement I made was praised, and which made me feel good and helped.
Lorraine needed implants and skin grafts to both legs, but now she's back on her feet.
I could have lost my leg, but then again I could have lost my life. But I didn't. That life's been given back to me, and I am so grateful that yes, I have got life, and I'll do the best I can with it.
And she's especially thankful to the medical team and the skill of pilot Lee, who turned Halifax's most historic building into a helipad.
His chest seems clear, his abdomen seems clear, his pelvis seems tight, his knees an open fracture.
Nick, whose scooter collided with a car in Maltby, has given up biking. The car driver was fined and sent on a driving awareness course.
You got a headache, have you?
It's in my card.
And Charles, who was flown to hospital from a holiday complex in the Dales, was found to be suffering from a severe urinary infection. He later developed sepsis. He has ongoing health problems.